We're a little inconsistent collectively as an offensive unit as a whole. I'd like to see us be more consistent, especially when we have to travel the length of the field. Did better once we got in the red zone and tight red zone and got some points out of it, but way too inconsistent. It was not indicative of spring ball. We had been making constant progress throughout the duration, but I like the direction we're headed in. I think our guys are competing extremely hard.
Excellent. Cordell there was in a walking about halfway through the game.
Yeah, he just kind of stumped his big toe and dislocated his toe. They try to get it back in. So the good thing is not nothing that is long term. It's just a bone bruise on that toe, on his big toe. So we'll get him back here in relatively short time, and he'll be ready to go for summer practice.
Josiah wearing that club on his arm. Anything to that?
Yeah, no. He had a little hairline on his hand, but he was able to practice and continue throughout the duration. Just didn't want to risk it and take any chances with him. We know what he can do. He's been consistent each year, each spring that we've been here. So we kind of monitored it in today's scrimmage format just so we didn't make matters worse on the last day.
The game maybe wasn't indicative of the work you guys did in the spring.
Yeah, from an offensive standpoint, I thought our offense sputtered at times today, although there were some flashes in the passing game. A great run by BJ at the back end of the game. But consistency was not here today, and we had been doing that from an offensive standpoint. I thought defensively was indicative because I thought they played dominant predominantly most of the game today.
Frank, what we saw from BJ at the end with that long run, is that what you've seen?
Yeah, that's what we've seen all spring from him. Those runs that were going 20, 30, 40 plus yards.
Frank, what we saw from BJ at the end with that long run, is that what you've seen?
Yeah, that's what we've seen all spring from him. Those runs that were going 20, 30, 40 plus yards on a consistent manner. And so got a glimpse of it to see it, what we had been seeing all spring, but just not enough.
Clem, he was tough to block.
Yeah, Jared Macklin has been playing extremely well for us. He was our MVP for the defense for this spring season, if you will, and just did things in a dominant fashion, day in and day out consistently.
Frank, you had a couple of guys on the defensive line that played well today.
Yeah, I thought they did. I thought Bill and Baker played outstanding. I thought all of those guys from an interior standpoint, I thought Solomon Wise flashed at the back end there as well. Our secondary has been stellar and in a consistent manner, and so we just hope to continue that throughout the duration of the season.
Kellogg today with that nice touchdown grab.
Yeah, he's been fantastic this spring, to be honest. It took him a while to get his footing and to get going, and once he got going, he has shown that he can be a guy that we can rely on in situations, whether it's a deep ball down the field or a contested ball, using his catching radius and his size to create problems against defensive backs. So we saw a lot of that.
Frank, the injury to CJ, it looked pretty bad. He slipped on the concrete down there.
Yeah, a flesh wound, fortunately. Unfortunate that it happened, but fortunately it's not a bone structured or anything like that. It was just a laceration that will require stitches, and from a medical standpoint, we just didn't want to do that out here and stitch him up. So took precautionary measures to get him over to the doctor's office to get stitched up. So thank God it wasn't anything that could be long-term for him, a flesh wound.
So there's no knee strain or sprain or anything like that?
Oh, no, not at all.
Just a cut.
Yeah, a deep cut.
Just what are some thoughts on the day as a whole, the turnout, the whole fiesta thing?
Yeah, you know what? I thought the energy was good. I thought our fans were engaged. You look over there and we had the UTSA paraphernalia all over the place. People are buying it at a rate unreasonable. So it was good. It was festive. It was community. It's what we designed this day to be. And so we're just very pleased with our turnout and support by our family and friends and our fans as well.